Hello and welcome to another wonderful, action-packed episode of The People's Rose.
Wow, you are really bringing the energy tonight.
I am so excited to
Wow.
talk about reality TV with my beautiful, lovely,
Okay.
exquisite, magnificent wife. Funny, hilarious,
Okay.
accomplished, talented.
Listen, folks. Listen, men. This is how you should treat your wife. Shower
Wonderful
her with
wife.
compliments.
And what's my wife's name?
Brooke.
And I'm Jarrett. And like I said, we're just so excited to talk to you about reality TV on this episode of People's Rose. It's been a great week. We podcast about reality TV every single week. Happy to be doing it this week. And we like to talk on our podcast. And believe it or not, I think this is the first reality TV podcast ever. So that's good for you guys listening.
So innovative.
About the shows that we watch and we love to watch. And we watch everything from the Bachelor Nation shows, from the Bravo shows, to the CBS competition shows, to the Netflix dating and competition shows, to the Peacock competitions and designing shows. If there's a reality TV show, we've at least considered watching it. And we like to talk about it with you guys. And like I said, this was a great week of reality TV. We literally just watched the episode of Big Brother, the Thursday live eviction episode, or live episode that just has both of us hyped. And
I was jumping up and down.
Truly. Why didn't we get that on camera?
Oh, we should have.
We really should have. We actually did get it on camera, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to put you on blast.
Okay.
We just watched that. We are ready to recap and break that down. And if you are excited to listen, I know you've just been waiting with bated breath ever since the episode ended to hear our thoughts on it. If you want to hear about our thoughts on the Big Brother, this week we're going to be talking about it later in the podcast. You can use the chapters on your podcast app if they have chapters to skip ahead to that if that's all you're here to listen to. But what we're really also excited to talk about, which we're going to talk about right now, is one of my new favorite reality TV shows. Claim to Fame. The finale was this week.
This finale was reality TV gold. It was beautiful.
It's just amazing.
Start to finish.
It was just a really good way to cap off what's been a really entertaining and fun to watch season. And so let's get right into it. Mm-hmm. Claim to Fame, season 2, finale. What'd you think, Brooke?
I thought it was excellent. Before we started, we made predictions on who we thought was going to win. I said Monet because I truly did not think anybody was going to know who her celebrity relative was.
Right.
But I thought that she was going to be able to figure everybody else's out because she killed it in that pop culture comp.
Right.
And so I just knew that it was going to come to her. And you predicted Chris right. Because you were like, they're never going to get Donny Osmond.
Yeah, we said that Donny Osmond could literally host the competition, the final guess off, and they would still not guess Chris.
Right.
So that's okay. So that was our predictions going into it.
Right.
And just, spoiler alert, if you have yet to watch that, please go watch the show right now. But neither of our guesses were correct.
Yeah.
But it still felt like the right person won, even though our predictions were correct.
Exactly.
After watching the whole show, it truly felt like he was the one to win.
Right. So it started out with Chris, Carson, Monet, and Gabe. Right?
Yes, so it was 2 hours, but really it was 2 episodes. We got to see this,
you're right.
The penultimate episode, which this is, homemade entertainment. Okay, just a quick aside. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch a lot of reaction videos. I listen to a lot of reaction podcasts. Every single one. It's like we all learn this word at the exact same time. When they talk about the second to the last episode, you can almost hear the host like gearing up to say it, like, we're going to discuss our penultimate episode of the season. Oh my gosh.
So I have not even heard that.
Well, yeah, because you haven't put in the time like I have on YouTube. So we're gonna talk about the penultimate and the finale episode.
Okay. So I forgot. I was like trying to figure out how Carson got eliminated, but basically they had a challenge where they had to line up like 4 clues for all of the other contestants that were still there.
Well, I mean, we skipped over how that really started. It really started with, which was a promo that we had already seen.
Yeah.
Monet and Gabriel guessing who Chris could be. That's basically, if you've been watching, that's been the bane of everyone's existence this season. They guessed Elvis.
They were brainstorming.
They guessed Billy Idol. They guessed Elton John. And he was literally he described himself as a cockroach that you couldn't kill, right? Because people were getting eliminated off of guessing him left and right. And Monet gets the idea to role play as if they're in the 70s, because they knew one of his big clues was that his celebrity was a teen idol in the 70s.
Yeah.
So, they're doing a little pretending that they're at Studio 54
like, we're
in the
at
70s.
The disco.
Yep.
I got on bell bottoms.
And they're like, a teen idol's performer, who could it be? So they rattled off a bunch of people about who it could be. And they actually said Donny Osmond. Mm-hmm. Which Monet thought was a good answer, right?
Which we were shocked by, though.
Yeah, at first I was like, that doesn't feel
there's no
weird.
way that's real.
But, okay, this is why I tell our listeners that they can look at us and follow us on Reddit and also social media. On Reddit, they have been theorizing that Gabriel and Monet have known Chris was Donny Osmond, or thought that might be one of the people for a while now. A couple episodes ago, Gabriel was throwing out hints that led to Donny Osmond while people were guessing clues about, I guess, his Technicolor coat and stuff in the Bible or whatever. I remember that episode. To me, that doesn't sound like Donny Osmond, but I guess he played in something that's related to Joseph in a coat of many colors. Mm-hmm. So people are theorizing that even though that first segment was kind of like, how they just immediately get Donny Osmond after not knowing it all season? They could have actually truly have known for a while.
That could be true.
Okay, so now we're on Carson getting eliminated.
So they do this challenge, and they have to. What is it? Like, each person has 4 clues that they have to figure out. It's like what an alternate name that they go by, what industry they're in.
Yeah, it was just like a match thing. Each contestant. At this point, there's 4 left. So when you would go up there, you'd have to guess clues related to the other 3.
Yeah.
Each 3 had about 4 clues that were related to them, and it was like occupation, freaking collaborator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like that.
It was someone that they. So no surprise to anyone, Gabe won.
Which he's been a comp beast,
right?
To take terminology from Big Brother, he's won a bunch of comps. He's guaranteed himself safety when he needed to. So.
Right. So, but it did give the others good info about Gabe's clue, which was a mystery to all of them. They, at this point, all still were thinking NFL. Well, then they found out it was TV music. Well, then, so Carson and Monet are talking, and just as we suspected, as soon as Monet saw the clue, because Carson showed her Gabe's clue, she knew instantly it was Nick Cannon.
Right.
But she played it off so well. She just was like, oh, I don't know.
That was such a cool moment because you could see it watching on her face. Once she saw the clue, you could see her like talking about it, and then like the moment of realization hits. But she caught herself. Mm-hmm. And who was it? Because so she knows it's Nick Cannon. Mm-hmm. Who was it that said, "Oh, that might be T-Pain"?
I think that was Chris.
Chris is. Let's face it. Chris has been bad at the actual game part of the game.
Yeah.
Not the strategizing, but the actual guessing other people's. He hasn't been any better than anybody else.
Right.
I think everything that he said has been wrong.
Right.
He just had an unguessable celebrity.
Right. So Chris, he's won a lot of things. He's gotten a lot of clues, but he has been horrible at like knowing who celebrities actually are.
Right.
So, they go on this T-Pain and Monet's like,
she helps to lead him down.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, let's go down that path.
I think T-Pain does have a lot of clues, and I think T-Pain does play the drum.
Yeah.
And what's killing about it is Nick Cannon hosted The Masked Singer, which Donny Osmond apparently was on, and Chris still couldn't think that it was Nick Cannon.
Yeah. So then, Carson's like, let me be the guesser. I want to go out on...
Right. Carson...
She wanted to guess... Who did she want to guess?
Well, it's unclear. She wanted to guess Monet because she thought... Like, I think they want to go out on her. But it was clear to her that she was at the bottom of the totem pole because she would be the one everyone would pick because everyone knows that it was Dale Earnhardt Jr. at this point. It wasn't Jeff Gordon, so they're like, all right, it's got to be Dale Earnhardt Jr., right? And that's where her clues were leading. And so that's why she wanted to go up. But I think it really showed these final four, because obviously Carson's going to be the one to get it to go home. Really, and each played a really good game, and I think they were deserving final four. You have Monet, who's very smart. Like, this one episode showed like how they played the game.
Yeah.
Very smart, very strategic, and did what she needed to do moves wise to put herself in a great spot. Chris, not the best guesser, just unguessable.
Yeah.
So you can't even be touched. He's never really an option.
But he had pretty good strategy, I thought, too.
Right. No, he did. He did make good alliances. Gabriel won a comp when he needed to give himself the power to make the decisions that benefit him. And Carson, also a pretty good player, but had an obvious relative.
Yeah.
And because her picks weren't the best, wasn't really a threat to go up there.
Right.
So the way Gabriel won, and he actually had the power that, speaking of influence in the game, he could choose, if it was a tiebreaker. So what ended up happening, long story short, Monet engineers, she votes for Gabriel to be the guesser. Gabriel votes for Gabriel to be the guesser. Chris, accept Carson's request to be the guesser, votes for her. Carson votes for herself. It's a tie. Gabriel breaks the tie. Who does he pick to guess? As the guesser.
Himself, right?
Himself, and then who does he guess?
And then he guesses Carson.
And sends her home.
Dale
Earnhardt pops on the screen. Okay, we haven't talked about this all season. How do you think they went about getting those videos? Did they just call up these celebrities in their videos? For some reason, I also feel like it could have just done cameos. I wanted to go on the Cameo app.
Bottom from Cameo?
What? Yeah, I wanted to go on the Cameo app and see if these celebrities were... And they just, they paid them. I
am sure they had to get consent
to
go on the show, right?
Stuff. Yeah.
So I'm sure once they were like, I'm going on this show, can you send a video? They did it.
But not everyone did it. Tom Hanks didn't do it. And I think he might be the only one who didn't do it.
Did Jenna? I still don't even know her name.
I don't think Jenna McCarthy did it.
Is it Jenna or Jenny?
Doesn't matter.
I'm sorry.
So we see Dale Earnhardt pop up. He's very gracious. Carson seems really proud to be related to him, and he seems really proud to be related to Carson. She goes home.
She was like, I owe Jeff Gordon a thank you.
Right. It's really cool, to think that she just knows all these drivers. That's her life. So that episode ends. Our penultimate episode ends, and we get the finale episode back to back on a Monday, just like we like it.
Right.
And it starts off. We see that all the house guests that have been eliminated had actually been sequestered. They did this last season.
Yeah.
And they come back to participate in the final finale week, and they kick off with this, I guess, like a pool party.
Yeah.
Where they can talk to the remaining contestants again.
I didn't even factor that in when I said who was gonna win. But I think, I don't actually know. I might have kept the same thing. I might have kept the same thoughts. But having everybody back, I think, was really helpful to them in knowing ultimately at the end who everybody was.
Yeah, there were some house guests that were coveted their knowledge. Jane being one of the oldest competitors, they were like, we know we have to get to you to know who Chris's is.
Yeah.
Because they might have known, but they needed confirmation. She, however, was close to Chris, and so she said, I think at one point she was trying to misdirect Gabriel. She was telling him maybe it's Frankie Valli, even though she knew it was Donny Osmond.
Yeah.
Um,
But she also knew Monet's.
She did, but wasn't as confident. She said JB Smooth, but it also, she was convinced later that it might be Jay Farrow. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So that she was coveted, and then also Shane and JR. Shane figured out Monet's and told JR because I guess they were close. Mm-hmm. And so they were also to former house guests that the contestants were trying to get information from. Mm-hmm. Or prevent them from telling the other house guests their secrets. So,
I'm certain that JR told Gabe.
Well, yeah, they also kind of showed it later on. They were like, because he said, I'm not going to confirm or deny when he guessed JB Smooth.
Oh, yeah.
But just good luck. You remember that?
Right, yeah.
So that happens, and then we get our comp, which is in these bales of hay outside on the mansion lawn. Maybe 12 bales of hay. They have to look through clues, these like final big clues related to each house guest on the season. Put them in the order the house guests were eliminated, and so on and so forth. So they picked teams from the former house guests who they won, and we saw. Kind of felt like Recess again, seeing Gabriel. You could see he was picking athletic people because he wanted to finish it fast. He wanted people that would move
which honestly, that was the best move.
Yeah, Monet. After the season, we saw that she said. That comp took 2 hours.
And if you even just like go back and think about them, how they looked at the end of that.
Rolling around in the hay for 2 hours.
Hay in their hair, dirt on them. They looked tired.
Right.
So, yeah, literally they were like finding needles in a haystack.
Right. I think Chris, if I remember correctly, was picking people he thought would be smart and would be able to look at the clues with them and give them advice about them. Mm-hmm. And then Monet, I think, just got her friends.
Yeah.
So, long story short, the final clues for our last 3 house guests. Monet's was the gold glasses and the gold Caesar crown, leaf crown. Which I think a lot of people, that's where we saw Jane was like, I think this is JB Smooth.
Yeah.
And even Gabriel was like, okay, wow, this is JB Smooth, you know. Mm-hmm. He said, I think Nick Cannon and JB had even worked together before. Mm-hmm. Gabriel, clue for Nick Cannon was the turban, which is, if you were guessing, you would think if you were thinking through people of who it might be, seeing that turban, you'd be like, okay, that's Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
But Chris saw it and was like, okay, yeah, that's Terry Crews. And like, I think if Chris had been the final guesser, he was going to guess Terry Crews for Gabriel and Jay Farrell.
Yeah.
And he would have just been dead wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of puts his game in a nutshell.
Right.
And his final clue, which has actually caused some controversy online.
What?
Was a lunchbox that had the silhouettes of Donnie and Marie. Uh-huh. Which is Donny Osmond, which of course confirmed it for the other 2. So I've seen so many posts, so many comments about people saying, how is that fair that his final clue was just straight up a picture of his celebrity? It's almost like production was like...
The face was scratched out.
Right. And so I'm thinking, if I wasn't thinking Donny Osmond, I wouldn't see those 2 and immediately go, oh, that's Donnie and Marie. Yeah. I would have had to already be in my thing, which is the same for the other 2.
Yeah.
Like...
I have known Nick Cannon all this time, but when I saw the turban, remember, I was like, what? I didn't know he wore turbans.
But for me, that was like, okay, this is too obvious. Who else would that be? Now, the JB Smooth is different because I just don't know if I was in the house and didn't have access to the internet.
I had no idea.
No, I actually know that. Once they said Curb and SNL, I do think I would have known JB Smooth.
But what is I still don't understand the concept of the gold glasses.
So he does these Caesar Sportsbook commercials, and it's a play on Caesar. So he wears that thing, and he's got golden glasses because the glasses are part of his personal aesthetic.
I have not seen that.
So, yeah, okay, those are our final clues. Who ends up winning but Gabriel, right?
Right.
The comp beast.
Right.
And Gabe's done more than one comps. He's had great strategy. He's had good alliances. He's done what he's needed to do to get to the end. Mm-hmm. He had the power, of course, to decide who would guess first, and then, of course, the final guess. Mm-hmm. And long story short, he picks... Who did he pick?
He picks Monet to be the guesser for Chris. And of course, she guesses Donny Osmond and gets it right. Mm-hmm. So then that leaves him as the guesser for Monet, and he picks JB Smooth.
Right.
And he wins
the
show.
And like sparklers, like huge sparklers.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are called.
Yeah.
Really cool. I want to experience that one day. Right? Maybe I'll win Big Brother. And I was just really happy for it. I was happy to see him win.
It felt deserving.
Carly literally called him dumb the first episode.
Yeah.
I think on the podcast I said he was annoying and didn't seem too bright.
You did.
And I apologize, Gabriel. You were very intelligent. You were very you were polite.
Well, he came in much different than he was at the end. He was like very, very goofy in the beginning.
Yeah, I think at the beginning he just, I don't know. But regardless, it's my fault. You did a great job.
Yeah.
He's a deserving win. I was very happy to see him win.
Agreed.
A couple insights. Just some meta game thing. When he won and had the power to choose between Monet and Chris who would go, and then who would pick of the winner of that, would he guess them or they guess him? Monet and Chris could have stonewalled him and said, let's both not tell him any information about the other person.
True.
And put him in a dilemma so we can still have a chance. But if they tell him, all he has to do is like, well, the other one told me who you are. Are you going to tell me? And then, of course, and if they tell him, he would know both and he would win. You know what I mean?
True.
So winning that final challenge and claim to fame is really powerful if the other ones are paranoid at all.
Yeah.
You still have to go out there and win it, but you can basically wrap it up right then and there.
Right.
Another thing that was cool, just insight in the season. You remember Gabe got so mad at Chris about Chris giving his clue to someone.
Right.
I've seen people say that just lends more credence to Gabe having known the whole time about who Chris was, because he was like, dude, I've known who you were. I could have told everybody in the house, Donny Osmond, and you could have been gone weeks ago. But I didn't say anything because we were working together. And now the first chance you get, you start asking people who I am. That might be why he felt more so betrayed.
That's interesting. So do you think that like he did actually like say that and the producers just hid it from us?
I think he just maybe felt that. And I don't think he was certain it was Donny Osmond. Yeah. But I think what he might have been thinking is, people don't know who you are, and I have some ideas, but I haven't shared them with anybody because I didn't want them to get you out.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gabe wins, deserving winner. A couple insights. Him and Monet seem to be really good friends. You saw that he jumped on the couch with her and they shared champagne in her diary room session. They just seem really cool.
That was cute.
Speaking of people who apparently got close after the season, we saw online that Olivia and Hugo are dating.
That is out of left field.
I mean, that's just crazy.
All right.
Happy for them. Chris, we're happy for him. When he was eliminated, he said he finally feels like he's out of the shadow of his dad.
Yeah, you know what?
And if coming in third on ABC
if
filler
that's
reality
what it
show,
takes, then great.
Everyone has their own journey.
Right.
And Carly apologized for calling Gabe dumb.
Thank you.
Which she needed to do. It's really good.
To do.
And she also apologized to Monet for in the haystack. She thought the rock was a clue. And it was just a rock. So she apologized for that.
Yeah.
So honestly, a great season.
Great. I'm looking forward to season 3.
Yeah, I honestly think I heard that ABC might try to film a season 3 and release it for spring if the strike continues. Yeah. So that's it for Claim to Fame. We loved you. Hope to see you soon. Okay, and we're ready for another edition of Brooke's Buzz. Brooke, we watch so many reality TV shows, and we don't have time to cover them all, but that's why we're happy to have Brooke cover just what's happening in her corner of the reality TV world. So what you got for us this week, Brooke?
I don't have a lot. You know, first one, coming out of Bachelor Nation, we have Hannah Brown is engaged.
Okay.
What? You love her.
Right, but,
Okay. Well, she's engaged to someone who's not in Bachelor Nation, surprisingly. Which is why it's like, well... I mean, I'm happy for her though. I hope it's a lasting love. I hope it works out for her.
Okay.
Okay, then we're gonna kind of skirt over to Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Kim and Kroy we talked about them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They were getting divorced, but then they were back together.
Uh-huh.
Well, now the divorce is back on.
Okay.
So I don't know. They're both a little I don't want to be rude, but
please don't.
they're just an interesting match.
Yeah, no,
so I
definitely.
can't say I'm too surprised, you know.
Yeah.
But I actually did think they worked really well together.
Yeah.
But I guess not. And she was like, I saw this TikTok where she was on Instagram and she was like trying to sell all of her designer bags.
Yeah.
And she was like majorly upcharging them. And this girl was like, she's selling this for $10,000. But I literally found it on this, like, brand new on this website for $8,000.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just like, oh, Kim, I'm sorry you're going through it, you know?
Yeah.
But she'll be okay.
Is she like, do you think they'd ever have Kim back on the show? I remember this lady from my office said Kim was one of her favorite housewives ever.
Really?
Do you think because that would help her with what she's going through?
Yeah, I definitely do. She actually made an appearance on this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Okay.
Which is where
she's still in the
on.
sphere.
Well, yeah. She also had a spinoff for a while that was like her own show, but that got canceled.
I do remember that. I think that's where I saw her the most.
But I definitely think that they would have her come back. And I think that she's soon going to get to a place where she needs the income.
Kim, it's okay. Go ahead and go back.
Just come on, Kim. It's okay. We'll welcome you. Probably not everybody will, but I will. We will. Right? Which that is actually a good segue into Real Housewives of Atlanta because we just finished the season. The season ended.
Yeah.
And right at the very end, we got a taste of Drew Sidora and her husband's Ralph's divorce. So like the beginning of the season, they were like, things are so good, we're doing really well. Okay. But then we kept seeing these previews of like things actually aren't good. And plus we already knew like out in the open that they had both filed for divorce. Right. So literally on the last 2 minutes of the episode, it's like, you know, they do the all dramatic where they flash the date up on the screen. Yeah. And they're like, an hour after Drew filed for divorce. And she's like in there doing her like one-on-one. Right. And they really give us nothing. They're like, you know, the producers are asking questions and both of them in their individual interviews are like, I'm gonna have to call my lawyer. So it's just like, okay, all right. I mean, I get it. It makes sense, but
I don't know if I saw much of. I haven't watched a full episode of Atlanta with you in a long time, but I do remember seeing a lot of like, didn't she go on dates? I guess they would show her and her husband when they were struggling going on dates. I remember seeing an episode of them on a date and arguing about something and just being like, these two are
unfortunately cooked. It has been rocky from the jump. Like day one of her on the show.
Okay.
It was a disaster. Like they were coming off of some big fight and he left and went to Florida, but like didn't tell her where he was going, and it was like this huge storyline. Her first season. Okay. So they have been rocky from the jump. Yeah. But I think that so in that interview, she was like, I've been keeping a lot of things from him. Like he's cheated on me several times. Yeah. She basically said. Now, and then he also is alleging that she cheated. So it's just really messy. They also were very public and like put their couples therapy. They put them going to therapy on the show. Yeah. So, you know,
do you want to make your weekly appeal to be the therapist, the counselor?
Listen, if a Real Housewives ever comes to Houston,
they need you.
Then I will be the therapist for the couples.
Right.
Or just individuals.
Right, okay.
When they come.
Fair enough.
I will totally do that.
Andy, take that.
Yeah.
Take note.
Take note. Thank you. Yeah, so that's Real Housewives of Atlanta. Oh, I'll be interested to see if on the reunion, if they kind of get more into that, but I'm sure it'll just be more of like, I really can't talk about that. It's ongoing, you know, which, whatever. That's fine. Okay, and then last thing, Bethany Frankel still, leading the charge of taking down Bravo.
Bravo? I thought it was reality TV, like, as a whole concept.
Well, I saw on page 6 that she's actually, like, trying to get a lawsuit together against Bravo and NBC. And it said that she alleged that she has, like, 80 reality stars that are, like, signing some petition or something.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll see how that all plays out. Well,
we are pro-worker on this podcast, so, you know.
I mean, hey, yeah, if it works out, you know.
Yeah, you know.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how it shakes out.
Exactly. It's weird just to think about that since they're so, I mean, I'm assuming Bethany Frankel's pretty well off.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we talked about this extensively a couple podcasts ago. But, you know, if there's something that needs to be resolved, I hope it gets resolved.
Same.
So is that what we got for Brooke's Buzz?
That's it.
Thank you. We've been thinking about Brooke's Buzz. I'm thinking about, when you think Brooke's Buzz, picture a bee, you know, floating around the people's rows. You know, Brooke's, you know, going from rows to rows, getting us the scoop on whatever reality show we need. So we appreciate the hard work you do 5 minutes before the podcast.
Hey, I have been studying all week.
No, you're right. Okay, that's it for Brooks Bros, but we do got some other reality shows. I think in general, I don't get a segment, but I think both of us would like to talk about. Was that today or yesterday that we saw the Golden Bachelor?
Yesterday.
Yeah, their cast was out. Do you have it up?
Yeah, I do.
We're looking at the women. They announced they had a video. It was more than just like, okay, on the regular show, they just, you know, throw the guys or the girls up in front of like a green screen backdrop and have them do some awkward dance and be like, I'm Jarrett from Houston. And I'm ready to, you know, whatever. Yeah. I'm ready to podcast my way to Brooke's heart. Whatever it is. And they throw some stupid bio together. But these, rightfully so, I think, these casts for the Golden Bachelorette, these women were given like a whole introduction video that was, I think, very like, well put together. It looked, I thought, very tasteful.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. It was very well done.
They were very well dressed.
They did like a cast photo, and they all had black dresses on, and they were all like posed so cool.
Right. It was like a cover shoot for like a cool magazine. Yeah,
it was very cool.
And
very well done.
I don't know if all of them, but a lot of them got to give like little blurbs, not about who they were, but just
a little bit. Yeah.
Well, in their like intros online, but I'm saying in the video they were just talking about like, oh, I'm just ready for love. Oh, you're right, because they talked about some of them have been in previous marriages for long and lots of time. Yeah, and remember like
half of them were like, I love pickleball.
You know, and that's the humor that we still love to expect. I'm just so excited for this. We got a cast of beautiful older women from age range. I don't know the exact range, but it looks like they went from 60 to 70, 60 up, but the oldest looks to be 75.
Yeah. They got several 60-year-olds, but only one 75-year-old.
Who is that 75-year-old? Oh, that's Pamela.
Sandra.
Oh, so there's a couple 75.
Where's Pamela?
Yeah, so we're looking at the cast. We have them here before us. And we're just really excited.
Oh, yeah, I see.
There's some standout. Well, there's one standout, of course, Matt James' mother.
Oh, yeah, we all saw that coming.
Yeah, she's
I love it.
The mother of a previous bachelor, yeah.
Oh, you just know that Matt and
Rachel Kirkconnell
are going to make some sort of appearance.
You know, I think that, but I think they would waive that and see if they do like a final hometown date or something to that effect.
Yeah. not true.
So, I mean, we're going to give extensive coverage when it comes to the Golden Bachelor. And we're going to meet and get to know these women and wow, I can't remember now. Is it Gary or Jerry? I think it's Gary, right?
It's Gary, but it's spelled like Jerry.
Right. And the women, it also seemed like they knew already that it was Gary, which I thought was good. That there wasn't like, just anybody. It seemed like they'd given them a chance to consider it.
Right.
Are there any early standouts? I know we're not going to hold you to this prediction, but is there anyone that just jumps out? Like, I don't see how Gary wouldn't be interested in her from either the video or the cast photos and bios that we have.
Well, Edith, she has long gray hair. Mm-hmm. She's beautiful. And her hair reminds me of my mom's hair. So I think I'm like partial. Fair. But I feel like I just think she's so beautiful. So she might have a shot. Now April is a mess. She was on the thing.
Hold on. We don't know anything about her yet.
No, she in the video. Yeah. She was the one that was like, what did she say? She said,
I don't watch anything with old people in it. I don't watch TV with old people in it. I'm trying to stay young. Yeah. Which is, unfortunately, Brooke, let's be real. I don't think she's the only one who would have a sentiment like that. Do you think?
Why are you saying I'm just that? Like you're saying I would have.
Do you know what? That was honestly the first thought I thought. I was like, man, that sounds like something Brooke would say.
I don't even watch shows about high schoolers because it feels weird. What are you talking about? I watch Real Housewives of New York, and they're old women.
Okay, we'll see. Mark, okay, we'll ask.
Oh, you're saying when I'm 60?
Right.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. But then I just saw that she's a therapist.
That's what I'm
saying. My God.
I saw that, so I was like,
I did not see
let's not call the kettle black here. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I have any standouts. I do think they're all very beautiful women. I like that it's a diverse cast. I like that we're getting women from different stages of their life, even though they're all golden per se, and they're all from different parts of the country, which is, I think, going to be interesting. You know, do you really want your grandma to move to another state to be with a guy that you don't really know? I don't know. I just think it's going to be an interesting season.
Remind me where he lives again.
It's like west of Midwest. I want to say it's not Minnesota, but I think it's like up or closer to that area.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly. Maybe it's Idaho. I truly think it's Idaho.
What? That is so random. Who lives in Idaho?
No, I think that's like the perfect place for an old bachelor to live. It feels right. It feels earned. You know, you're an old bachelor in Idaho. It's like, yeah, let's get this guy a wife. He can't be lonely in Idaho.
Dude, there ain't no girl on here from Idaho.
But there's some people from Minnesota.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is. There was a lady from Minnesota.
There's an Illinois. There's a couple Illinois.
Right, which is close to Idaho. There's, it's not totally unbelievable.
Okay, there's a Minnesota.
Right. I can't believe we don't remember that house, because if you remember, him and his previous wife bought that house to retire in. You know what I mean? So that holds a special place. But wherever it is, Gary and his future choice are going to have to decide, do they want to live there? Do they want to find a place for themselves? You know, because it's more than just his love story. It's also will be hers, whoever she may be.
Right.
So we're excited. We just can't wait. Another show that we can't wait that it's coming back this fall. All reality shows are coming back this fall because of the writer's strike. We are pro actors. We are pro writers. Well, in the loose sense, against the studios, right? So we're not mad about it. Continue to strike for what you is. It's the people's rose. You know what I mean? Power to the people. Anyways, so all the reality shows are coming back, and one we're really excited about is The Amazing Race. We
will have dreams.
Right.
Oh,
If you're a real Amazing Race fan, you know that. Oh yeah, that they play.
A classic.
So The Amazing Race is coming back. This is so crazy. They announced, they show. We have also this cast. It doesn't look like they casted anybody. You okay? Got to get you some caffeine.
Sorry.
We record this. I believe it's 3 a.m.
Okay, listen. We have a toddler. I'm doing the best I can over here.
Yeah. So we sorry that yawn. I'm sorry, it really took us out of that. So Amazing Race is back, and we have the cast. We don't see anyone that jumps out as someone we see from another show or someone who's. And the Amazing Race will do that sometimes.
Yeah, like usually there's somebody from Survivor or Big Brother.
Not this time though.
But maybe it's just because of time frame.
Right.
Because like Big Brother's still ongoing right now, you know?
Right. So yeah, that is but I like that though. It'll be fine. We'll get to meet new people. But another cool thing about it is they apparently, reading the article, they had a season already recorded, right? Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, the schedule allowed them to. I can't remember if it was a COVID thing or just something. They had a season ready to go, a full season full of 60-minute episodes. And, but now CBS, I guess, approached them and said, hey, we want 90-minute episodes for the fall. We're going to do Survivor 90 minutes and you 90 minutes. We're going to put it back to back. And that's going to be all that's on TV, in the fall for CBS on Wednesdays. Wow. Because of, they're trying to fill airtime. Yeah. So instead of padding out those 60-minute season episodes, a 60-minute episode season that they already had, and try to stretch those out, which I mean, a lesser show would have tried to do, and they had just really boring filler episodes. They actually just went and did another Amazing Race this summer. And with the purpose of having 90-minute episodes. So we've got 13 teams, the most that's ever been in an Amazing Race before. There's going to be no what do they call it when you're no non-elimination legs. They are going to have express passes are coming back. They're going to bring commercial flights back, which is one of the best parts. It's feeling like an old school season of Amazing Race. We got people we don't know, right? We got commercial flights because they're fighting. So they're fighting in the airport. Yeah. If you don't watch Amazing Race, that's a big part of it. They got to race to the airport. But because of travel restrictions these last few years, they've had charter flights, which is just not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same Amazing Race. So the commercial flights are back. We got a large field. We're getting 90-minute episodes that were intended to be 90-minute episodes, so they're not going to be filler.
Wait, so I'm confused. When are we going to see the 1-hour episode season?
They're just going to probably shelve it until spring.
You're kidding.
Well, yeah, if they have an episode ready to go, so CBS is like, hey, if we don't have any new shows, we got another Amazing Race locked and loaded, which I'm not mad about. Gosh. But can you imagine if you ran that race at this point like 2 years ago?
Right.
And you've been like, I promise, guys, we ran a race.
You're like, I won. And people are like, okay. Right.
What if this is how we announced to our family that we ran the Amazing Race?
Attention, everybody.
You're like, you remember I went AWOL that one spring? That's where I was.
On the live feeds, I saw Kroy and somebody
live feeds of Big Brother
talking about how. Sorry, I'm getting off track. But talking about how they're doing 90 minutes of Survivor and 90 minutes of.
How'd they know?
I don't know, but they said they were doing 90 minutes of Survivor and 90 minutes of Amazing Race, and they said maybe we're doing 90-minute eps too, and then they were like, no, because they told us about the other two. Why didn't they tell us about? Why wouldn't they?
Right. No, I think because if I remember correctly, when Survivor and Amazing Race come on, Big Brother is doing 100 eps this season. So when Amazing Race and Survivor come back, I think Big Brother's changing days because it comes on Wednesday now.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
So I think they'll go to Tuesday.
They'll go to Tuesday. Okay.
So I think they had to tell the cast of Big Brother that's airing right now, hey, official change.
Yeah.
So we are equally excited about the Amazing Race. So for those who are keeping count, coming this fall, shows that we are going to attempt to cover on this podcast. I told you at the beginning, this podcast alone is an action-packed podcast because we got so much to talk about.
Right.
But we're going to attempt to cover the Golden Bachelor.
Yeah.
The final weeks of Big Brother. The Amazing Race. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's another one.
Eventually Paradise.
Oh my goodness. Bachelor in Paradise.
Which also the cast was announced this week.
And who cares? You know what's so crazy? Paradise used to be the Bachelor Nation show that I cared about the most.
Yeah.
I used to say, like, the only reason I watched Bachelorette and Bachelor was to know who's going to be on Paradise. But you know what's changed?
What?
I'm a married man now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you don't need to look at the hot
gallivanting
girls on the beach?
Yeah, the thought of gallivanting on the beach and,
bruh.
you know, dating who I wanted to date. It's just not even part of my, you know, wants in life anymore.
Oh, good to know.
I'm looking for a long-term commitment that I have and continue. But that's the show I want to watch. People who are looking for that. Not this get plastered on the beach and for a relationship that's not real. Am I going to watch? Oh,
my gosh.
Yes, of course I'm going to watch. It's just not the same.
Okay, valid.
And then we skipped over. We don't really have time, but Project Runway, Project went home for the people who watch that show and care. It was time. His outfit that he went home on was a deserving outfit to get eliminated on. And we couldn't, before the show, we were trying to remember who was all left. I think we're at either final 4 or 5.
Yeah. But at least we know for sure Brittany, Laurence, Rami, and Bishme. And if there's a fifth, we're sorry.
We're so sorry.
We're so sorry.
Watch them be the one that's like the winner.
I know.
If you had to guess real quick in the next 10 seconds, who do you think's going to win at this point? Who's the best designer left?
Bishme.
Okay. I think Bishme is the best designer left. And I also do think he's kind of been getting a winner's edit. So.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to make this really quick. Brooke and I are considering having a little series where we go behind the scenes of trying out for a reality TV show. We had a conversation. We were talking about House Hunters. And we just seen so much about how House Hunters is basically fake. We'll talk about it when we do the series, but we think it would be fun, don't you think, Brooke, to like apply to reality TV shows and document our journey to hopefully getting on one.
Right.
Now, there's some holy grails of reality TV that I wouldn't even sully the application process by podcasting. I'm talking about Big Brother. I will go on the show one day. I'm not going to do it on the podcast.
Right.
But shows like House Hunters and I don't know, if there's a show you would like to see.
We need to like low stake ones.
Right. Shows you would like to see us apply for, let us know.
We're going to put obviously we can't do 90 Day Fiance.
You say that, but we might find out that show is fake.
Oh,
I might have to put on the accent. I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't do that.
How about Seeking Sister Wife?
Yeah. You know what?
Husband.
No, Sister Wife. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to put up either a question or a poll on our Spotify podcast. Like you can listen to us anywhere, but on the Spotify version of the podcast, there'll be a poll up or a question where you can submit your suggestions for shows we should apply to. And I don't know how soon we'll be doing that series, but I think it'll be fun to do and talk about and see what it's like on the people's rows for us to apply.
Oh, if we were in New York, I would say couples therapy.
No. I would never go on that show.
You don't want to be exposed?
No, I don't want to expose her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I unfortunately would, I don't know. We'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, you'd probably make great TV for it.
People would be like, wow, Jarrett just solved everyone's problems. Wow, and I don't want to do that. And they'd be like,
wow, Jarrett really thinks he knows everything.
Yeah, and it'd be like, and he does somehow? That's crazy. No, but, okay, yeah, so you'll hear more from us on that. Okay, and now it's time to talk. I can't believe we've got this far into the podcast after seeing such a great episode of Big Brother.
I know.
Season 25, we're just now talking about it.
I know.
But here we are. What a great episode. Nothing to say? Okay, never mind. I thought it was a great episode.
No, it was. I said, yeah, I agreed. It was a fabulous episode.
Yeah, and okay, I'm reluctant to say it was a great week, but it was a great episode. Before we get into the actual live episode, let's catch everyone up on this week in the feeds. And it's kind of, I would like to give a lot more insight, since Brooke and I keep up with the feeds and watch the feeds, into what we know. But man, this season and the paranoia and the flip-flopping each week.
It's a lot.
It's like so much happens that ultimately is inconsequential that Brooke and I, like, throughout the day are just texting each other. Like, if she's home and I'm at work, or vice versa.
Right.
I'll be like, oh, this happened. But
Right.
actually, and then be like, oh, wait, this happened. Or they hate them. Or now they like them. Or they want. And it's just constant.
Right.
So we'll talk about it. But I mean, the big summary of this week is, you know, Cam put up Jag and Blue, and they went back and forth on who they wanted.
Right.
And who they were going to blindside, and who they were going to tell that they were doing that.
Right.
And who was on the end of the decision, who was on the out.
But I think it was also, like, good gameplay on Jag's end, like, trying to save himself.
What? Jag barely did anything, I feel like.
No, the day that on Wednesday, I had the feeds on all day, and he was talking to everyone.
Okay.
And Blue was doing nothing.
You're right. Okay, fair. Jag did more than Blue. Blue did nothing but cuddle with Jarrett. No, that's not true. She did more than that. But I'm just saying, like, to advance her game, she didn't really put forth an effort.
No.
So yeah, that's I mean, truly that's the gist of it. I mean, some of the, I don't know, they covered a lot of this on the episode, but Jarrett, well, okay, let's go back. I just realized we have not talked about Big Brother since the pressure cooker comp.
Pressure cooker.
It went 14 hours, 49 minutes. It was just 4 minutes shy of breaking the record.
Wild.
I think it truly destroyed my next couple days because I tried to stay up and watch as much as I could. And I was like just out of it.
How late did you stay up? Like 4 a.m.?
I don't remember now. It's been a week, but I stayed up. I only got 2 hours of sleep because I also woke up early.
Oh my gosh.
And was just, oh my goodness. So
when you went to bed, who was out?
You know what was so crazy? When I went to bed, because I stayed up late. I don't remember the exact times, but when I went to bed, there were still, I think, like 12 house guests competing. Yeah. And when I woke up 2 hours later, there were 11 house guests still competing.
I remember.
And I was like, okay, this is crazy.
Even when I woke up that morning, there was still several, right, I remember.
Which at this point, that's like they were on hour 10 or something.
They made it a long time.
Much longer of no sleep. Maybe 24 hours or no. I don't know the exact time of when each house guest went to sleep, but some of them were working on 24 hours of no sleep. And so that was really impressed by the fortitude of a lot of the house guests.
I think some of them actually got out because they like fell asleep. Holding the button
clearly
and
that could have happened.
Yeah.
And so wait, oh my goodness, that's another thing. As a pod ended last week, I was just so certain America was going to win. I'm a card-carrying American citizen, both literally and figuratively.
Oh my gosh.
And with the show, and she was our final two, but inexplicably, she just said, okay, I give up.
Yeah.
They could have gone 4 minutes longer and got the record. She could have gone
and been gosh.
But that didn't happen. Cameron's our HOH. And it was just, I think, really cool that we got the pressure cooker.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Agreed.
And they lived up to it, even though it's kind of a haze for me because I, didn't make it through the whole thing.
Right.
Okay. Cameron HOH. He puts up Jag and Blue, which is also like, I don't know if that's the best move for his game. He's pushing Legend 25, which barely exists. Everyone knows it doesn't exist, but he's like making moves for the good of Legend 25.
There has been so many alliances. Because was Cameron originally in the Professors? No, he was in the Handful.
He was in the Handful.
Oh my god!
And so Jag and Blue are in the Handful. So now he's trying to get rid of them, or for some reason.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
But also, Jag and Blue are in the 7 Deadly Sins with Cirie, alliance that Cameron and Red are not a part of. But he's in the Legend 25 with Cirie, Felicia, Izzy, and Jarrett that Jag and Blue are not a part of. And so it's really just fighting for Cirie's attention. It's truly what this season is right now.
It truly is.
Who's going to be Cirie's best friend?
But Cirie has this way, this aura of getting you to trust and love her.
And she wants trust back.
Yeah. And so she's like I'm literally watching, like, what was it? Matt went and told her something, and I'm like, this is from Wednesday's episode, and he's like, oh, okay, so Cameron went to Matt and was like, listen, we gotta work together to get out Cirie, Izzy, and Cirie, Izzy, and Felicia. And Matt instantly goes and tells Cirie. And and the way that she just like allowed him to feel so comfortable and to trust her. I'm just like sitting there like, don't do it, Matt. Don't do it. Because I feel like she is only loyal to Jared, Felicia, and Izzy.
Well, I think the pecking order is go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, but that has since changed after tonight's episode.
Right. Okay. So that's a good segue. I was going to say that pecking orders changed a little bit when who's like winning the Cirie Fields popularity contest. But here's some of the factors. And they showed this on the episode. It was kind of an ongoing thing for a couple of days. At one point, Cirie, Felicia, they wanted to get out Blue. I'm still not clear on why. Maybe it was just to pull Jared closer to them. Jared, of course, did not want to get out his showmance.
Well, I think that it was also because they want Jag. They want to work with Jag.
That's right. You're right.
They want him to help take out Cameron and Red.
And they think he'll be a better asset than Blue, which is probably true.
It is true, yeah.
So Jared, of course, was not like that. He did not like that. He was very much against that. He was very much mad that they brought that up. Oh my goodness. We saw in this episode that just aired, he said, I didn't come here to do what my mommy said. He didn't say mommy, to do what my mom said or anyone else said. And it's just like, bro, this woman is Cirie Fields.
He has like a classic case of you move back in and you start acting like a child.
Right. Speaking of acting like a child, on the pressure cooker. Well, they didn't show this. This should have been on the episode. But Cirie kind of dressed him down. This happened on the feeds after because Cirie and him were one of the first to go. I saw this live. It was insane. Because Jared had been withholding valuable information about what house kids had told him. And she was just like, you cannot keep that from us, bro. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. But it was just like your mom, like a mom would show out her son, right, in front of Izzy, who of course wants to be the older sister that likes her more. And so Jared is kind of getting, I don't feel sorry for him because one, your mom's a reality TV super legend, like bona fide. And so of course you should want to work for her. It's a blessing you're in the house with her. And it's your mom. If she's scolding you and you're tripping, you got to take it. You know what I mean? But he literally got up when he got in the bed, put a towel over his head.
Right.
And she came in. He's like, nah, I'm your mom and I still love you.
Right.
Which is like, I get that's embarrassing, but he is tripping. He's acting crazy.
Yeah.
So that's.
But how did Cirie find out that he hadn't told him that?
He told them later.
Oh.
And she was like, why did you wait to tell us this?
Yeah.
And she just exploded on him. Like, go watch it on the feeds if you can find a clip of it. Truly kind of exploded on him.
Yeah.
I might have retweeted it on our Twitter account, maybe. So that happened. Izzy kind of found herself maybe not Cirie's number one like she wants to be. She's I saw little bits and pieces of her, like, I don't know, maybe losing favor to, one, we see Matt on the show. What happened with Matt?
Yeah.
We got so much to cover.
I know. There's so much. So there was a special power this week. America, not the player.
Right.
Got to vote on 4 house guests to play in a competition to win a special power. The 4 people that got to play were Cirie, Matt, Jag, and Kroy.
It was so funny. Before Jarrett told Kroy, oh, America would never pick you. You just don't have the personality to be.
Jared told Kroy that?
Yeah, to be one of America's favorite. Okay,
jealousy.
Yeah.
So those 4 got picked to play, and Matt won. Okay. Also, we should note that when Cirie read the letter that said she got to play, she started tearing up.
She's really good.
I thought that was so sweet.
Right. Cirie is more than just good at reality TV. She's very humble still and very down to earth and appreciative of the opportunities she gets.
Yeah. So Matt won, and Matt, the power is the power of invincibility. Basically, Matt had the power to save someone that was evicted, right? So it had to be used on the person that was evicted.
Well, I think he had to. It would say someone who was nominated.
Really? I thought it was evicted.
Well, I think. Well, if I remember how Sari explained it, he had the ability, like today, this morning, he tells production, I want to use this on Jag.
Oh.
If they all vote blue, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, that was just a waste. But it's not like he like rushed out and said, okay, blue just got evicted, I want to use it on her. I think he had to pick before they were evicted, I think.
Interesting. Well, we don't really know because they kind of kept it on the DL.
Yeah, a lot of live feed cuts.
But
we said all that to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, he went and told Sari, like, hey, I got the power and I need your help. Basically, like, deciding what to do. And they talked it through and they were like, you know, maybe we do keep Jag so that he can help us take out Kroy and Red and just be another number for us.
Which is great for Sari and her side. She gets to keep Jag. It keeps Jarrett from getting mad. He can still, you know, cuddle and do who knows else what with his little side piece, Blue.
Right.
And she is, somehow they're both each other's side pieces. I don't know how that happened.
Right.
Talk about it in Showman's Watch. But, okay, because this week has been so flip-floppy, like these last few weeks have been flip-flop. Maybe we do this. Maybe we'll keep this. We thought it was production, just, you know, oh, here we go, you know, another week to try to convince us the flip is on, but they're not actually going to save Jag. And so that's, I think, at this point in the show, we were all just like, yeah, whatever. Jag's still going home. They would never do that. Right. So I also thought Matt wouldn't do that because what if he's evicted and needs to use it on himself?
Right. What if he gets nominated next week and now he doesn't have it? But whenever he went to Sari and was like, I have this and need your help deciding what to do, she was like, okay, I am sold on Matt.
Right.
He is now top 3. Well, she said, I wouldn't mind being top 3 with me, Matt, and Jared. Right. Or me in top 4, me, Matt, Jared, and Izzy.
Yeah, she's clearly got an inner, that Matt's moved into, an inner 4 of her son, Izzy, and Matt, and a 5 of Felicia. Yeah. That's another thing that happened this week. Felicia and Siri had a falling out.
But we don't know why.
Right. We weren't watching feeds at the time. Brooke and I, believe it or not, have lives outside of reality TV. So we actually, neither of us had the chance to really catch up on what happened. We just saw that they had a falling out. And at one point, Felicia even went up to Jared and was like, hey, I don't have a final 2 with Sari anymore. I'm thinking about working more closely with you. Which, I'm sorry, Felicia, you just said that to Sari's son.
Yeah, that was the wrong person to say that to.
Okay, and another thing, we haven't even talked. We knew about this before it happened, but they showed it on the Wednesday episode. Jared, in all of his wisdom, decided to tell Blue that he has a relative in the game.
Oh my god!
And since while we were watching on the live feeds, he made it seem like it was Felicia, but thankfully, and we thought that Blue thought it was Felicia. Yeah. But Blue is actually intelligent and was like, "Oh, okay, so it's Sari."
Right. She went in her diary room and was like, yeah, he told me he's related to someone, and I think it's Sari.
Right, but she didn't use it. She has not used it for any leverage.
Right.
And that brings now Izzy and her know that Sari is his mother potentially. And nobody's kind of used it. And Sari, Izzy doesn't want to. I think Izzy just wants to work with them.
Yeah.
Izzy also was like, oh, I just don't have the heart to tell Jared that you and I are like ride or die. And it's like, Izzy, you are not Sari's number 2. She's always going to pick her son over you. But anyways, Blue knows this, but just is just sitting on it. Isn't going to really do anything about it. I don't know. Why would you?
What would she do about it? Try to break them up? Like,
go talk to Sari.
Yeah, true.
It's worked for Izzy. She doesn't know it's worked for Izzy, but it worked for Izzy. I would say, look, Jared told me. I would just call his bluff. If it's real, I'd be like, Jared told me. I know, but I want you to know, I hope this is trust building for us.
Yeah.
I know I'm closer to Jared than I am you, but I don't want it to be like that.
Can you imagine?
I think we can all work together. And then that would force Sari to either, one, say, we got to get her out, or work with her.
I cannot imagine, like, Sari would be livid with Jared. But she also might actually appreciate that from Blue.
Right. You just can't, to not do anything with information in Big Brother, you have to, I guess she's holding on to it for later. I honestly would tell Cirie. Because this is what happens. If Jarrett's lying, now they know Jarrett's a liar.
Yeah.
Maybe they distrust him more. If he's telling the truth, you gain another ally. And the name of the game in the house right now is get on Cirie's good side.
Right.
Okay, so that's basically where we're at in the house before we get to the live episode. Before we talk about what happened on this great live episode, let's do a quick showman's watch. They've kind of covered it on the episodes that have aired.
Mm-hmm. So we got Jarrett and Blue, who honestly, I can't get on board. And I don't know if we've said this or not, but we said that Jarrett had a little girl on the outside of the house.
Nah, the little girl has a girlfriend.
Okay, girlfriend.
So he doesn't have a child.
I don't even know if it's okay, not a kid, but I don't know if he would actually consider her a girlfriend or just like a situationship,
right?
On and off again. Well, so does Blue,
right?
So I'm just like annoyed with them for even like entertaining each other in the house. I don't know,
right?
They have officially kissed, so...
And maybe even officially done much more.
Well, this is PG, so...
Right.
But, yeah, I'm just not on board with them. Now, Kroy and America? Comerica?
No, I think it's AmeriCorey.
AmeriCorey?
Mm-hmm.
I can get on board with. I think they are super cute.
Yeah.
I think that they can be each other's ride or dies.
Right.
I think that they are going to keep it PG.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, okay. You might be right about that.
I think America is busting at the seams. I also think that America and Kroy are better for each other's games. Kroy is adamant not to get too close to her, either romantically or game-wise.
Right.
But I think America's a way better player than Blue, and Kroy is a way more thoughtful. I don't know if he's a better... Well, I think he's a better player than Jarrett, but I don't know if he's in a better situation because he doesn't have his mom in the game.
Yeah, 100%. I think that they could work well together, but I think Corey's wise and, like, I don't want to be labeled as a showmance. But it's already happened, bro.
Right. They literally got thrown, what's the word?
Condoms?
Yeah, condoms. I was looking for a little more. I was going to say prophylactic. I don't even know if that's the correct term.
Okay.
Anyway, so the house considers them an item. Yeah. If not a showmance, they're a couple.
Right.
Okay. So let's get let's do a rundown to the episode. I can't believe we forgot this again. We'll do alliance at the end of and we'll just talk about it. So, okay, Julie's fit. What'd you think this season? This episode.
4 out of 10.
Yeah,
it was not a good look.
It was not her best. But she did get some new shots. They had her doing close-ups around the studio.
They did. That is true.
In and around the audience.
It just didn't work. The shirt and the pants, it was all too wide. Separately, I liked the pants. The jewelry was off. It was too much.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
The house guests, though, they know it's a live episode. They know they're on national TV. I think, had some great fits. We got a new look from Matt. I guess.
Oh, the hair.
Right.
The man bun.
Right. He pulled it back.
And he had an undercut. I didn't know he had that.
He had his dangly earrings. Shout out to Brayden.
Yeah.
No, so he had a new look. I thought Cirie's hair was really cool.
It was cute. Looked good. She had pigtails.
Blue looks good. Nicole. Everyone's well put together. We got nomination speeches. Blue with her kitty purr, slay speak.
I don't know if I'm just old, but it's like, I don't find that cute. I don't find that endearing. I don't get it.
Yeah, I get it, but I still think she's overdoing it.
When you say you get it, what do you mean?
It's just like getting it, babe. I don't want to
just like,
if I have to explain it to you.
Well, okay.
You just really don't get it.
I don't.
It's just like when your boots down, kitty purr and slaying.
Golly.
That's just something that I can't explain.
I guess, yeah.
So we got to see the Power of Invincibility comp, which we saw the times. We didn't know the times. We had an inkling that Matt had won. Matt barely beat out Kroy, which is cool.
Yeah.
We saw, so we got to see some insights. We saw Matt, like you said, immediately tell Sari. And yeah, we got the eviction speeches. It was cool to see both Blue and Jag speak in cultural languages. I don't know if it's their native languages. I'm assuming it's languages their family speaks. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And so we get to the evictions, and we're getting shout outs again. It's looking like it's going to be another unanimous vote. They're all voting to send home Jag. And I think, honestly, just like you've seen Brooke yawn in the podcast, we were both yawning like, here we go.
Another unanimous vote.
And then as Jag's walking out the door, he's hugging people. The scary verse enters the game. We get, woo, scary verse. And a message from the scary verse, and Red, I guess, who's the designated message reader, gets up there and announces that the power of invincibility had been used as anonymously, and had saved Jack from eviction. Mm-hmm. This is when Brooke was jumping up and down. We were pumping our fists. It was like a shot of adrenaline. Yeah. It was truly shocking.
It was awesome.
And before that, I think we were in the middle of saying, it's kind of been atypical, these first few people that have been nominated, the Heisem, Riley, Kirsten, and we thought at that point Jag, any other season could run a season, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Things shake out differently. But before we could even get that out, of course, Jag is safe. I really hope he uses his opportunity of safety in another week in the game. It's just like a jolt to like re-energize him, go back out there, maybe shake up the house a little bit. Mm-hmm. We also learned that since basically Cameron stood 14 hours pressing that button and for nothing, and his HOH, since his HOH reign is useless, he will also get to compete in the HOH competition that they're playing right now. We're recording this hoping that the feeds turn on in a matter of seconds, and we'll know before we end this podcast episode very shortly.
I just hope it does not, I hope that Cameron doesn't win again, and then we have the whole same entire week.
If Cameron wins again, we'll probably see Cameron and Red. Cameron and Red this week have been seeing how Izzy is basically not excited. Izzy can't hide that she just doesn't want to work with them.
She just doesn't like them.
And so, that's where we stand. Speaking of Izzy, she didn't get a lot of time, I don't think, on the show this week. But she is one of the main characters on the feeds.
Yeah, for sure.
Brooke and I wake up, we're Central Time. This show is filmed on, technically they call it Big Brother time, but it's the West Coast, right? And so Izzy, Felicia, and Sari are some of the first people to wake up. And it's just paranoia central for them for the first few hours of the day, them gossiping. And it's funny and it's entertaining.
Right.
But I would say they're some of the main characters. And before we wrap it up, and thank you for listening if you've listened this far, let's finish it like we wanted to start off with, but with our alliance. And what that means for us is who we're rooting for, who we're rooting for against. These are house guests in the house. And who we think is playing, the best game and the worst game. So that's 4.
Okay.
Rooting for, rooting against, best game, worst game.
Okay. So, rooting for, I'm going to say AmeriCorps. Okay. AmeriCorps.
Uh-huh.
Corey in America, I'm rooting for them. Rooting against has got to be Space Cowboy. I am so sick of the space. I don't understand it. Why has Corey decided to name himself the Space Cowboy?
Cameron.
Cameron. And you know what? He probably does have some story about why he's the Space Cowboy, and I don't even actually want to know the story.
It's just
I don't think
if you don't get Space Cowboy, I don't know how to explain it to you. It's Space Cowboy. Okay, so that's who you're rooting against.
Yeah, and then best game, I'm gonna have to go with Sari. I have to go with Sari.
Yeah, it's clear at this point.
Yeah, worst game, I don't know. Honestly, don't get me wrong. I was very happy that Matt used the power because it gave us some entertainment, and I like Jag, so I'm okay with Jag staying. But I don't know if that was the best move for him.
Okay, that's interesting. For me, rooting for America, and I gotta be honest, I do want to see Suri be successful. I know she's starting to get a little bit on people's nerves with how good her position is. Some people are calling her a villain. I don't see it. And maybe it's the contrarian in me, but America, because I'm proud to be an American. And
wait,
to be clear, and I'm proud to be a fan of America on the show, is what I'm saying.
You said people are saying Suri is a villain?
Yeah, if you go on, I'm seeing a lot of comments of people being like, she got this season set up for her to win. Oh. Production is basically handing her the win. And I don't think that's the case. Okay, rooting against. I have yet to see someone, now that Heisem is gone, break through that I do not want to see them be successful. I can't really say I'm rooting against anyone, but I think I did this last week. I'm going to default to Bowie Jane, only because it's just inexplicable how you can be in there for this long, and I feel like I just don't even know or care to know anything about you.
Unfortunately.
But Bowie Jane might have a late surge and might be one of my favorite people. You never really know.
Maybe.
Best. I actually might be rooting against Blue.
Wow.
And Jarrett. But to root against Jarrett, Siri is basically rooting for Jarrett. So that's kind of a paradox.
Yeah.
Okay, best game, Siri. It's not even close. Like, Siri is just in such a good position that even the people that know she's in a good position would rather put up Felicia and Izzy so they could get in a better position with Siri.
Yeah, you're right.
And worst game, I would say Jag. He just got eliminated.
Yeah.
Like, so technically he played the game to get eliminated and he was saved. So that's why I know it feels like, I think he needs to turn around. He needs to really change his strategy up and really evaluate his position.
Yeah. He honestly needs to win. I need to see a 0 to hero moment from him.
Right. Oh, that would be so Kesar coded if he could do something like that. Okay, we did it. We had a great week of reality TV news and shows, and we've talked about it. If you've made it this far, oh wow,
You are a true people of the roses.
Okay, interesting.
People's rose.
You are true. Well, that's good. We got to think of something for our listeners.
You are a true person of a rose.
I don't think that's it,
but
we'll work it. We'll workshop it. We're workshopping. And so we thank you. If you enjoyed us, please rate and review on our podcast platform that you listen to us on. That really helps people when they say, "Hey, is this a good show?" Oh, wow, cool! It has 5 stars unanimously. Yeah, of course I'm going to listen to it. If you want to continue the conversation, we are on social media on most sites that talk about reality TV at The People's Rose. It's on peoplesrose.com where we have playlists up if you want to go listen to episodes for reactions to shows that you may have missed. We have playlists up now. But just, if you need a reality TV fix and someone to talk about it, and your spouse doesn't talk about it, Brooke and Jarrett talk about it. So listen to us. But thank you for listening. And we'll be back next Thursday, hopefully to talk about all the reality TV shows that we love to talk about. So thank you for listening. And bye.
Bye.